You've seen those wild videos online, right? Ants forming these incredible living bridges or even rafts to survive a flood. But is that just a one-off thing? Are those ants some kind of super geniuses? Or can any old ant colony pull off amazing stuff like that? Well, to figure it out, one creator decided to pit 1,000 pretty ordinary ants against a set of what seemed like impossible man-made obstacle courses.
And that really gets to the core question here. Are these incredible feats we see online just super rare? Or does every single colony have this kind of potential for greatness, just waiting to be unlocked when they're pushed to their absolute limit? Let's find out.
So the creator of this whole experiment, TerraGreen, he put it perfectly. He basically just gathered 1,000 ants from a nest in his backyard to see if his colony had that special something, or, in his own words, if they were just not that smart.
All right, so test number 1. The obstacles are set up to get harder and harder as we go. This first one, though, it's designed to play right into their natural strengths. We're talking about a massive digging operation.
Here's the setup. It's pretty simple. You take the ants, you put them in this sand-filled container, and you bury a huge pile of food way, way down at the bottom. The only way they can get to it, they've got to work together and dig an entire tunnel system right from scratch.
And you know what? They didn't even hesitate. Their response was immediate. They just got right to work, digging out sand grain by grain, almost like a tiny, coordinated team of little drills. Get this, in just 45 seconds, they'd already dug half an inch down.
So the creator just left them overnight, and when he came back, well, you just have to see this. In only 8 hours, they had built this incredibly complicated network of tunnels. I mean, it wasn't just a simple little path. This was a fully functioning nest.
And yeah, of course they found the food. The entire colony just swarmed their prize at the bottom. So test 1 was a huge success for teamwork. But that was just the warm-up.
The next test was designed to do something totally different. It wasn't about the group. It was about challenging them as individuals. And this is where things get really dramatic. Welcome to the tightrope of doom. Okay, now this challenge is just wild. It's got layers. First, they have to cross this dangerously skinny tightrope. Second, there's a pit below it, and the walls are coated in this stuff that's so slippery if you fall in, there is no getting out. Third, they've got to pick up a piece of food on the other side, and fourth, carry it all the way back across that same rope. One little mistake, and it's all over.
And the initial results were, well, they were not good. Most of the ants wouldn't even try to step on the rope. They'd just walk up to the edge of the platform and slip right off into the pit. Honestly, it started to look like a complete disaster as more and more ants just kept falling in.
But then, after so many of them had failed, after that pit was full of fallen soldiers, one ant stepped up. The fate of this entire mission was suddenly resting on just one single individual.
Everyone, meet Anthony. This is the ant who did what hundreds of his colony mates couldn't. He made it all the way across. And while a few others did eventually make it across too, none of them would help carry the food. So Anthony found a smaller piece that he could manage all by himself, picked it up, and started that dangerous journey back. At one point, he almost fell. He was dangling over the edge with the food, but somehow he pulled himself back up. As the creator said, he was an absolute killer, finishing the entire mission completely solo while all his friends just kind of watched. Anthony, all by himself, conquered the tightrope of doom.
So, after that unbelievable solo performance, the next test was set up to see if they could work together on a totally different kind of problem, a heist. The challenge? Break into a sealed vault.
So, the creator built this little paper vault, filled it with seeds, which is their favorite food, and then sealed the door shut with hot glue. The only way they could get that reward was to figure out how to break through the vault's defenses. Now this is where it gets a little comical. Plan A, the hot glue, didn't work at all because the ants just ignored it. They didn't seem to have any idea that food was inside. So for Plan B, the creator painted the whole vault with sugar water to try and attract them. And the result? They just stood there and licked the sugar off the paper. No chewing, no trying to break in, just licking.
It really looked like a total failure until this happened. Completely by accident, a tiny little hole had formed in the paper where it got soggy, and one single ant found it, crawled inside, and basically hit the jackpot. Once again, it was one individual who saved the day for the whole colony.
Okay, so for the final, craziest test, the creator decided to really push their problem-solving skills with a challenge he called The Floor is Lava.
So here's the deal. There's this big patch of incredibly sticky tape that separates the ants from a delicious strawberry prize. If they walk on it, they're going to get stuck forever. The only way to get across is to be smart about it. And to help them out, he gave them 3 possible tools: a pile of dirt, a few pieces of string, and some wood chips. The big question was, would they be clever enough to actually use these things to build a bridge and cross safely?
And amazingly, they started to figure it out. A group of ants started pushing dirt onto the edge of the tape, slowly but surely creating this small, safe path they could walk on. It was this incredible display of collective intelligence at work. But then, something else happened.
While the rest of the colony was working hard building their bridge, one ant just walked right across the tape. It's not totally clear how, maybe it was just bigger or stronger, but it navigated that sticky trap, pulled itself free, and finished the obstacle all by itself.
And this brings us right back to the creator's big question. In the 3 hardest challenges, the victory didn't come from 1,000 ants working together like some kind of superorganism. It came from 1 or 2 individuals who, whether it was through luck or bravery or maybe even intelligence, solved the entire problem on their own.
And this leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. Was Anthony a 1 in 1,000 hero? Or is every single ant in that colony a potential Anthony, just waiting for the right moment and the right impossible obstacle to prove what they can do? What do you think?